here today to talk about Pride Month.
So let's start off by talking about allyship. Otto, what does it mean to you?
So I always like to think of allyship as a verb rather than a noun or a label. So it's more of an action. What are you actually doing to support your LGBTQ plus colleagues, whether that's at work or more generally in your private life? So joining the network is a great thing to do. Whether or not you identify as LGBTQ, it's a really good place to be, to support and uplift your colleagues' voices.
So I think allyship for me really came to light when a family member of mine came out a few years ago, and we went to Pride and we did a number of amazing things together. And for the first time in my life, I realised how much people from the LGBT community who haven't come out to everyone in their life have to self-edit everything they do, everything they say, where they go, just having to think about what activities I talked about. So when my friends and family said to me, what did you do at the weekend? I wanted to say, I went to Pride with XYZ and I had this amazing time and I saw these great things, and instead I had to come up with a self-edited version or another story, because otherwise I'd need to explain why I was there. And it was a real insight into me, how people were living. So the reason I want to be an ally is to try and reduce the feeling that people have where they have to hide themselves and not be their true authentic selves.
Yeah, I agree. It's two things for me. Firstly, it's about education. So it's firstly about taking accountability, taking responsibility to get yourself educated so that you truly can walk in anyone's shoes and you can truly understand what it feels like to be, or at least get closer to understanding what it feels like. And when I took over sponsorship of the network, one of the things I took real steps to do was to follow members of the community on social media, to read up, to really try and understand better what that experience was like. And then the second thing about allyship for me is just not being prepared to walk past things that you see where members of the community are just not treated in the same way as other people, whether that's the need to self-edit or whether that's things that are possibly even less pleasant in terms of discrimination or assumptions or bullying, and really being caring enough to be prepared to stand up and not walk past it. That's allyship for me.
What motivated you to get involved in the network, do you think, at the beginning, Kate?
So I have in the various different roles that I play in my life, whether it's as a friend, whether it's as a mother, whether it's the role I play in business, I've encountered members of the community who've had really varying experiences, who've had varying experiences of the way they're treated by the people around them. And as we were starting to think about inclusion within Kingfisher, we'd done a lot to talk about women and men and some of the differences that they face. We'd started, after the murder of George Floyd, we'd started to explore and talk about how it felt to be from different races. And I was really keen that this was a part of the conversation on inclusion that absolutely sat alongside other groups, so that the voice of this community was absolutely integrated into the way we thought about creating a more inclusive culture within this organisation. And so it was from that place that I guess I was keen to work out how I could get involved and how I could use my role, how I could use the contacts and the networks that I have around the organisation to play a part in that.
So I think from my point of view, the affinity networks are a safe place, not only for people from the LGBT community, but also for people that want to support and be an ally, to learn in a place where they can be curious, where they can find out more, where they can educate themselves and just hear other people's perspectives, but also to do real change. To do change for people within their local community, to learn how to support people in their lives, and also to support the change of society as a whole. So I think the affinity networks are a really safe and strong place to drive change, and to keep that continuous learning and curiosity.
Yeah, that really speaks to me about having it as a safe place as well. And I think there is something to be said. While we do, and I think Kingfisher is a really, really good, diverse business. I mean, there are people from so many different backgrounds here at group functions, and there's also people from lots of different perspectives, lots of different pieces of experience. Even within our legal team, we've got people who've trained in private practice, we've got people who've trained abroad, we've got people with expertise in different areas, and also quite a diverse crowd of people. It is really, really good to see that, and having that diversity within one organisation is something that the network does really well, to bring together these different perspectives. Okay, we're all doing it under the banner of LGBTQ inclusion, but we're also bringing together lots of different pieces of expertise from all over the business.
Absolutely.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.